Welcome to Kasia's Voice. Today I have a great treat for you. I am with my fabulous friend, Ceci Torres, that we know each other through the dance world, right? But we, over the years, became really good friends, and we have a common passion for hearts. So, Ceci, thank you for being with me. Hello, darling.
Thank you, Kasia, for having me here today. I am so excited. I know we are very like-minded, and we love hearts. You know, I have hearts everywhere, and I know you go to my living room, I have little hearts here and there and stuff, but I think it talks about who we are as people, that we just want to share love. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. I think that's the bottom line. No matter what it is that we do, no matter what our profession is, right? What our job is, we're up everything with the heart, right? So it's delivered in a very loving, kind way. So I'm so excited to talk to you, to see how you have been doing, right? You actually had me on your little talk show, on your thing that
it's afternoon. We do a Friday night afternoon tea kind of party thing with, you know, we just hang out and talk and have some fun and just enjoy each other's company and learn new things about each other. That's kind of how we,
Exactly. And I think that's what's so great, because that's what I've noticed as well, doing these conversations, as fun and as informative it is for other people, we end up growing, right? We end up going, oh, I didn't think that way, or I did not know that about you, right? Because we've been friends for so long, but sometimes the conversation go one way and all of a sudden someone asks a question or we think of something and you discover something else about your friend, which is so fabulous.
Yes, absolutely.
So could you tell me, what have you been doing other than spreading love?
Of course, we've been spreading love, but you know, I've been kind of self-quarantined since pretty much March 16th.
Yes.
And, you know, other than going to the store and picking up groceries, maybe doing a few errands, I've kind of been maybe social distancing just to make sure that we kind of bring the curve down and make sure that people are safe. But now everybody is kind of venturing out little by little. And I'm glad, because I am telling you, I can be an introvert and I can be an extrovert. So so I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just an extrovert and I got to get out. But once in a while, I get that little bug that says, oh my gosh, I got to get out. I got to go do something. So, but other than that, I mean, we just really kind of been hunkering here at home and just kind of just sharing positive thoughts, love with anybody that I can or that I come in contact. I have a makeup line that I use for my competitions, which people have actually started calling me and saying, hey, can you send me something? Because when I want to start competing, I want my own makeup, my little package of makeup, so that I'm ready to go. And you know, so I've got brushes, I can sell them and so forth. Very reasonable. And that way they're prepared and ready with their own little kit when they're ready to compete.
Right. So that's so fabulous, because I actually want to talk to you about, you've done the makeup, you've done my makeup for Ohio Star Bowl, right? We performed last year with both of my fabulous partners, Donald Johnson and Andrew Phillips. And I just loved what you did with my face. I was like, oh my God, I feel pretty. So I would love to share with all of you guys. I would just quickly put this on my virtual wall and I would move out of the way and have a look how this woman made me look. I mean, look at my eyes, I guess I cannot be moving too much. Hold on, like this. Look at the precision. Just, oh my God, stunning. I will show you another one. If we can change it maybe here. Look at that from the other side. I will share one more. The up close, how fabulous. And of course, for those of you that know me, I love sparkle. I like everything that it's glitzy. I remember when we were talking about the hair, because the hair, it's so fabulous, so spiky and so like detailed.
It had to be you. It has to be you.
Yes, and remember how when I said, can we put some sparkle on top of it?
And we did. We like sprinkled pixie dust on top of it.
Yes, and I was so happy. Oh my God, I loved it. So you've always been helping us to feel feminine and glamorous and just absolutely stunning. And now you have your line. So could you tell us, like, how did you venture to creating your own thing?
Well, it all started with, of course, the majority of my clients are, I mean, I'm 50, I'll be 55 like in 2 weeks, so we're 50 plus, and we don't have the 25 young face that we do. We have a lot of little fine lines, and lipsticks will run and different things, you know. So what I did is I created a lipstick line that is really it's matte, but it doesn't sting, it doesn't it'll feel dry, but literally I have worn a mask in these times to go into the supermarket, and I can see my foundation on the mask and so forth, but my lipstick won't come off at all.
Oh,
So I mean, I'm wearing it now, and there's
nothing. Yes.
nothing. So
Yes.
there's nothing on there. So, you know, and so I'm like, so people are like, Ceci, your lipstick doesn't run on anything. Send me your lipstick. So that's kind of what I've been doing right now. But I will tell you, I mean, for your makeup, I remember having to think really precise. And that was, she's going to be in an audience where there's maybe 1,500 people, a huge ballroom. So everything has to be a lot more and brighter and bigger, because if not, just even regular, even as I have regular, this kind of regular makeup, it would fade. So I remember I have to be make it as big as possible and precise. That was my point.
Yes, you know what, and that's the thing, what you just said, because we were actually thinking of the same thing for our performance, right? For when we're choosing the song, right? There were certain things, especially with Andrew, because with Donald, we did a song that we did, oh my God, I think 17 years ago or so, right? In Ohio Star Bowl. So we decided to do the same piece, but with Andrew, we actually wanted to do a new piece, and we had few choices that we were playing with, and we liked the songs. But one of the songs were very heartfelt and like touching, but it did not have a big impact. And for Ohio Star Bowl, with the space, we both agreed that it was just too small. People would not get it. It would be very good for us as a human beings, as a artist, but not necessarily big enough for the entertainment of the people that came and watch us. So the choice of music, and then also my dress, I mean, it was like a sparkly ball, right? It was the outfit, the red and the sparkles, everything. I was rhinestone from the top to the bottom, right? And at first, when I got it to my house, I have to say I was not even that crazy about it, because I thought, oh my God, I look huge in it, right? Because the design, we put it around. So even my legs, instead of going down, we made it more around. So of course it gives me more volume. And at first, as every girl's like, no, I want to feel skinny. I want to feel tiny, but I am already a pretty small person. I'm a
right.
So then I thought, wait a minute, I'm going to be in this huge arena. I want people to see me. If I make myself too small, it's just not going to have the same impact. Right? So that was so great that you have the same thought. Like, how could I make this big and bold?
It had to be bolder than bigger and bolder than I've ever done, because I'm like, it's going to be dark in there. You're going to have a spotlight. So I just knew for a fact that, that it was going to have to be precise and bold.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just made me feel like I was the princess. I loved it. I'm like, this is so great. And because we don't perform right now as coaches, right, we don't do this very often. So when we do, it was like, so you just felt like a Cinderella, right? You just feel like, oh my God, this is my time to shine.
Yes, it was.
Thank you so much. You've been always so, that's what I like about you, that you always are very considerate, first of all, of the person, kind of like you were sharing that our clients are a little bit older. So you can't just slap any lipstick on, any makeup, right? When you're 20, you can buy something cheap and you don't have to worry, right?
Very true.
The skin keeps it all together, right? And
yes.
Even if it smudges, it's not a big of a deal. Versus when we get a little bit older, right? Everything is much more visible. So now all of a sudden you need different kinds, you need a quality that it's a little bit higher. So I love that you are aware of that and consider, versus this is what I do, right? And you slap the paint on everybody's face is the same. But also you being that considerate you also take under the account, okay, what's the occasion? Is it a competition? Is it a show? Is it a show like we did? We're the only ones in this huge space. What would be the most appropriate to showcase that person, right?
And you know what? After I do hair and makeup every single event, I immediately go down to the ballroom and I check everybody out. I'm like, okay. And even before I start, I go into the ballroom. I'm like, okay, where's the lighting? Is the lighting good? You know, how big is the space? And all that, in order for me to do somebody's hair and makeup, I really take that into account also. Because if the lighting is not that good, then the minute we put a lot of makeup, especially there'll be shadows. So I always have to tell, do different color of blushes to make sure that the color shows out. But if they've got a lot of lighting, then I may not have to use that much. So it all just kind of depends.
Mm-hmm. That's what's so nice, that you are so considerate of what's available, right? Because we've all been in a position where people say, well, this is what I do, this is what you're supposed to have, and it's almost like their signature face, right?
Correct.
It doesn't work. Like, there is no key that's going to open every door. Everybody has slightly different. Like, I remember when I was still competing, and some of my colleagues that were competing against us, I loved how they had like double eyelashes. With double eyelashes and double eyelashes on the bottom, and have like a really black eyeshadow. And oh my God, I thought they looked so fabulous. So one day I decided I'm going to do the same thing. Oh my God. It looked like someone punched me in the face. Like, I look like a raccoon. And I'm thinking, what in the world? But because I am small, right? And I have a pretty small face. So even when I have too much hair, a lot of times people say, oh my God, your face just get lost. So with all that stuff, as fabulous as they looked on my colleagues, it looked crazy. So I always had to, never the eyelashes on the bottom, right? I've tried this once and I'm like, that's crazy. And then even the ones on top, I will like have to trim them so they're not as big and as bulky, because otherwise the only thing you've seen is like two butterflies sitting on my eyes. It was just crazy.
It is so true. I mean, if you go back to that picture where you have your eyes closed, I remember particularly doing, go for it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I did. That way it's like, you'll be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, out of the way.
I did a bold black on the top because I wanted them to be able to, to really accentuate when your eyes are open. Okay. But I did what they call a cut crease on your eyes so that when you close your eyes, it just doesn't look black. Now understand, that ballroom is all lights are down and you're on a spotlight. So if I put all black, you close your eyes and all you see from distance is black eyes. Correct. So I said, no, if I do a cut crease and then put some sparkles in there and so forth, which because I know how you dance. I mean, it is a very emotional. So if you closed your eyes, it was just going to sparkle and show that. So that's why we did what we did.
Oh no, you were just, like I said, I could not thank you enough. There was such a cool experience. And also, for those of you that did not know, my parents were there, of course, because it was a big event. And we came down with my mom. So I felt like we had our girl moment before we hit the stage. That was so sweet. So sweet.
It was very, very special. And I really do think that it's, as you said, we do have to take into consideration the age of the person, the maturity of the person, the skin of the, I have different foundations for oily skin, for dry skin. So you have to take all, when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's not a one size fits all. Correct. It's really, you have to kind of look and see what that person needs in order for them. The most important thing is to really be able to give them something positive, not just in the makeup and how well makeup and hair is done, but to transfer positive energy to them. Because when they get off that chair, you want them to feel like they are at their best and they can go ahead and go dance and be their best. None of us are professional dancers. Right. I mean, I didn't start dancing till I was 45. I'll be 55 in 2 weeks. So I've been dancing for about 10 years. And I will tell you, I mean, when I get my hair done and do my hair and I put on my dress, oh my gosh, it just makes me feel like a dancer, whether I was a dancer or not.
Totally. So that's the thing. If we can now maybe talk, because I so would like us to talk about this, even during this pandemic, right? I'm a big believer that we're in control how we feel, right? Yes, of course, we go up and down. I do as well, right? There are good days and bad days. We worry, absolutely. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I also very much believe it's a choice to be happy. And as we get older, right, we probably already discovered what makes us happy. We probably already have, I call this a bag of tools that go, you know, if I drink my favorite coffee, if I have this cake, if I call this person, if I put this dress on, I feel a particular way, right? So one of the things, especially for us women, I feel dressing up, whatever that means, right? Because for different people, that means different things. For some people, it means dress. For some people, it means a nice suit. For some people, it could be even casual favorite outfit that they wear, right? The same with the hair and makeup. I feel like for us women, if we put a little bit of makeup, if we do the hair, you put the earrings, you put the dress or something that you like, it's almost guarantee you're going to feel better, right? And so even during the times that we don't really go anywhere, right, to the fancy places, especially for us ballroom people, we are used to going to these fabulous ball events, right? So you have a reason to dress up. But even around your house, you could actually put some makeup. It doesn't have to be clearly as you're ready to perform, but just to feel good, right? So maybe talk a little bit about how just a little bit, right, could go a long way emotionally, right? Because we women, I feel like a lot of time, I think the world sees we do this for the outside world. And I actually believe it's for us. I like to feel pretty. I like to feel good. And then all of a sudden, the interaction with people, it's different. Your attitude is different. You're not so harsh. You're not worried so much about it. So we can do so many things. And I feel as women, we're so fortunate because guys cannot, I mean, I'm not saying that they cannot slap some makeup on, but most of the time, you know, that's not really their choice of how to be happy. But for us, we have jewelry, we have accessories, we have the dresses, high heels, makeup. We have so many cute little things that we can do to sparkle our lives. So why don't we have a little chat about that?
Okay, well, I mean, things that I do to sparkle my life is I really, I'll set up a date, even like on Zoom with friends, and we're like, you know, to just, you know, just to have a chance to talk. And we'll say, all right, everybody today, you know, do your makeup and wear a yellow top, or, you know what I'm saying? So we have to make it some kind of an effort. And sometimes we can't do it for ourselves, and some people are ready to go. And then sometimes people need that, that other person to help to meet that expectation, to say, okay, well, you know what, I got to get dressed because we're going to meet on Zoom, and so let me join. So you do something fun and enjoyable. Some people need a challenge, some people don't need a challenge. So it's just a matter of who you are and who you know. But I've done so many things on, so, you know, we're even I think for my birthday next week, I ordered a virtual bingo. So I'm going to send out a notice to everybody. And if everybody wants to join, then I'm going to have everybody bring a little gift. And whoever wins that bingo, I'll say, all right, Kasia, you send that gift, mail that gift to so-and-so. So, you know, so there's so many things that we can do for ourselves. I mean, for me, even drinking out of my favorite teacup sometimes makes me feel good.
I agree. Oh,
you know, it's like, I'll get up and somebody drank from my teacup and I'm like, oh, I need my teacup. So, you know what I'm saying? I need my teacup. So,
my teacup, exactly.
So, I mean, those kinds of things are, I mean, just pick a place, whether it's somewhere physical or even somewhere in your mind that makes you happy and positive. You know, sometimes just to sit in my bed and just watch my favorite program makes me happy, you know, or text somebody back and forth, or send a little note. Like I had a friend who sent me a mask, and just, you know, I love writing little thank you notes, you know. So I've been writing thank you notes to people for different things. And, you know, especially in this time, I think the art of writing has gone bye-bye.
Oh yeah, totally. And it's so nice to get something right? That someone,
Oh,
right?
and you get something in the mail and it totally makes you happy.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, you know, whatever it is, however you can spread love and be a ray of sunshine to somebody, I would suggest you do it. Whether it's writing a note, whether it's sending a text message, you know. I mean, some of our friends were like, all right, it's crazy face day. Send me a text of your crazy face you're doing,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's the thing, right? And you know what? I think it's because I think oftentimes we talked about sending the love to other people, right? And we,
Uh-huh.
for example, right? This is what we do. This is kind of how we run the life. Almost like one of my friends said, "You guys are like a people that take care of all the sheeps, making sure, like,
Yes.
right, that we take care of everyone,
Mhm.
and we love it,
Mhm.
right? But there's also, I feel, um, a reason to maintain our own happiness, right? And I
Yes.
like to, because I've noticed I've gotten a place that I help, and you forget about yourself. And at some point you get hurt
Mhm.
unintentionally because you get so depleted, right? All of a sudden your
Yes.
emotions are already so high, and then you feel like people
Mhm.
ignoring you, and they really don't. It's just you have not taken care of yourself, right? And
Correct.
as we get older, no one is going to take care of you but you,
Mhm.
right? Meaning,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Meaning, because sometimes we feel like, oh, if someone calls me, I'm going to feel good. If someone does something for me. And of course, those things are great. Receiving a note from someone, it feels great. Receiving a call from someone, phone call from someone, it's fabulous. But if you ask yourself, what makes me happy? And then you go, what makes me happy to write a note, right? And some people say, oh, that's
Mhm.
so silly. Yeah, you might think that's silly, right? But receiving the note is great, but also writing the note. If that's something that you like, then that's what you do. If you want to
Mhm.
send something to someone, if you want to, like we say, send a text or message, or, you know, give them something, even though sometimes we feel silly, even though sometimes we think, oh, they don't care. It's not always about how they're going to receive it. It's about how we feel doing what we do. And then you're replenishing your tank of love. And all of a
Yes.
sudden, right, people end up liking what it is that you do, because you don't ask them, well, is this good for you? You just give it to them and go, I would love to give that to you. I would love to give you
Mhm.
a gift of a hug, or saying you look really nice, or I like your hair, or like your outfit, or, you know, just hang in there. Just say
Right.
something, and don't be afraid they're going to think that you're crazy. And if they do, so what? They think you're crazy, but you are having a good day already, right? So I think
Yes.
sometimes we have to be a little bit braver to say, this is what is good for me. And then
Mhm.
being able to share
Yeah.
that with people, or even ask for that, you know, like, oh, this what makes me happy, would you like to do this, or can we do this, or can you send that to me? Or you can actually ask for those things and not feel guilty, right? Because you're taking the people
Mhm.
out of the equation. You're not waiting for them to make you happy. You're actually asking them to give something that for sure going to make you happy. So I think that would be a really cool thing to do.
I love doing arts and crafts. Making little things with my hands, and so that is one way that makes me personally happy. I mean, I've always felt like it's so much easier, to be honest with you. It's so much easier for me to give than to receive.
Oh,
I'm like,
I
you
know.
need something? I will go get it.
Oh,
I mean,
create it for you.
yes, you know what I'm saying. So it's so easy for me. I've had to learn how to receive, because I'm like, okay, it's time for me to be able to say. And so when people send me something, they do mean a lot to me.
Yes, 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 exactly. And I think I am right there with you. Sometimes small things that are made by someone are so much closer to your heart than something that it's bought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not saying I don't like when people buy me stuff. Of course we do, right? But then because we are so hands-on, so when someone put that effort, right,
Yes,
it
yes,
feels like it's like kind of like what you're saying. It feels that it's packed with love. It feels like it's
yes,
personal. It's something that they put their heart into, whatever that might be, even if it's a simple,
yes.
right? I think that's so fabulous. And I think that we all need that, right? Right now, of course, during the pandemic, we all need that more than we did before, right? Because it's such a scary time. But even after this, I think that would be nice to maintain, to have that kind
Yes. I
of.
mean, it's something.
Mhm.
It's definitely something that I'm going to continue to do. Just to send little notes, little pass, send a little lipstick to somebody just to let them know you care, so forth. You know what? That's the way. I mean, it's all about paying it forward. And I do always believe that things will, I believe in karma. I'm a karma girl, and I believe you put out good karma, it comes back to you.
Back to you. Absolutely. Yes, I am right there with you. Like when you are, whatever you put out there, it will come back to you sooner or later.
Yes. I had one of the craziest things that happened to me this year. And I honestly felt like, up to this year, I had never met my father. Never.
Oh.
I had never met him. I had never seen a picture. I just knew that he was he lived in California and San Francisco, and he lived but he was Mexican descent and so forth. And that I knew his birthday was May 5th. May 2nd, and which happens to be the same day as Eddie's birthday. So, but it's funny. So this year, I was doing somebody's hair, and then mom comes in and goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired." I go, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I was just working really late on this research." And I go, "Well, what kind of research do you do?" And she says, "Well, I do genealogy research." I said, "Oh, wow, that's so interesting." I said, "Well, you know what? I've never met my dad. Well, hopefully one day I'll be able to meet him." And she said, "Well, I do most of my genealogy work I do for Ancestry.com. Mm-hmm. She goes, "Next time they have a sale, just sign up for Ancestry.com, do your DNA testing, and see what happens." So I did it. They came a sale. I did it, sent it in. Next thing you know, I get it back. And I see her at the studio. Her daughter dances country, and I see her at the studio. And I said, "Guess what? My DNA stuff came back." She goes, set up your Ancestry.com and just add me, and I'll build your genealogy." 2 weeks later, wow. I talked to my father for the first time at the age of 54.
How fabulous is that?
Tell me about it. So wow. I honestly felt that, I've had in 2019, all these good things just in the past 6 months, all these great, amazing things. And I, even with this pandemic, instead of looking at it as oh my gosh, this bad thing, I looked at it, you know what? I think the universe wanted me to give me a break. They just wanted me chill and relax. Give Ceci a break. She's always up at 4 o'clock in the morning doing somebody's hair and makeup. Yeah. So give her a break. So you know what? That's kind of how I looked at it. Just on an extended vacation. That's all.
That's the thing. I think I kind of feel the same thing. I kind of feel that the world have given us time that mm-hmm. we did not have that, especially people like you and me in our industry. We are so like little wind-up toys, and we love it, right? It's exciting, it's fun, the energy is vibrant, but it's hectic sometimes, right? Sometimes we push mm-hmm. the scale so much, right, that it's a little bit like almost anxious. So now, mm-hmm. because there's nowhere to go. I still sometimes go like, "Oh my God, I should be more ahead. I should be more organized." And then I'm thinking, ahead of what? Like everybody is kind of on the same boat. Yes, we can plan mm-hmm. certain things, but like just enjoy it. I'm able to have my morning coffee on my deck. I'm like, "Oh my God, I have not done this in years. And I love it. Like I could actually, so I'm surrounded by lots of trees, my house. Uh-huh. And I'm not such an outdoorsy person. I like it, but it's not like, "Oh my God, I have to be outdoors." Like I love uh-huh. the ocean. But the other day I was actually sitting, I have friends visiting, and we see these birds flying, right? There was a big bird flying like with big wings and slow, and you could feel like he's just cruising. And then the little bird flies in, and we would start laughing. You know how sometimes when you go to the restaurant and you see couple, you go, "Oh, you say what she's saying, and I will say what he's saying." Like you make up the own
uh-huh.
story about the couple.
Right.
It's not the own story about the bird, because the bird, the little guy looked like was trying to sell something to the big guy. Hey, I have something going on. Why don't you look over here? Like from the top, from the bottom. And the big bird is like, "Man, I'm just cruising. I have no time for this." And it was so funny. For like 5 minutes, the little bird flew around. Like he was trying to tell him, no, go here. Where are you going? What's happening? We laughed so hard. We could have had like a comedy number.
Oh gosh.
And eventually the little bird goes up, forget it. Flown somewhere else, right? Uh-huh. So, and then we looked at each other and we started laughing. And mm-hmm. we had so much fun looking at the birds. right? We did not
Wow.
do anything. We did not do anything extraordinary. We did not even, we were just making up something in our head, looking at the birds flying. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
And guess what? Sometimes we don't stop and smell the roses
Oh, totally.
because life is such a fast pace. It's so fast paced. We're like on a freeway, and to just stop and look and enjoy the journey. Even, I mean, even in this pandemic situation, I literally have just, hey, the first week I was cleaning everything underneath the sun.
Oh, I know.
Then then it went into, okay, hey, everything's clean. I know, next thing you know, I'm not cleaning as much, but hey, it's still clean. How much more can you clean?
Right.
And
How's to disappear?
exactly. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna just enjoy this time. It's the universe has given me a vacation, and I have to just take it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it's like, if you put your mind into that, yes, it's a little bit mandatory. Yes, it's a little bit forced, right? And I get it. A lot of people financially are stressed, right? And I had those moments as well. Oh my God, how is this going to go? How is the business going to go? Am I going to make enough money? But I feel it gives us time to reflect. Like, I start thinking, okay, where I want my life to go from now, right? Because all of a sudden you realize, wow, things could change so fast. Like, I remember one of my friends was saying in the beginning of the year, it was a group of us, and they said, wow, I'm curious, what are you going to do with this free time you're going to soon have? I'm like, what do you mean free time? Right? Like, well, with this whole virus, right, you're probably not going to be able to do a competition. I'm like, no, we're never going to quit. The dance world is never quitting, right? And I very much believe, if it wouldn't be for all the governors saying you can't, we probably would be dancing away, and not half of the people would not even worry about the virus, right? But all of a sudden, so I could not wrap my head around it. We're not going to be doing what we do. And I think the whole world was the same way. There is no way. If someone would say to us in January that in March we're going to be at standstill,
yeah, nobody can go anywhere.
Oh my God, you would think you're nuts. This is never going to happen, especially in America. Are you bananas? And then all of a sudden, March comes around and we're at standstill. And you go, wow, 2 months ago, I thought that was impossible. There was like a movie we've seen somewhere in Hollywood, and this could not happen. Now it's here, and you realize anything could happen. Even the things that are completely out of our realm of grasping of possibilities, you go, that was never a possibility a few months before it happened. Now, this is the reality.
It sure is.
Oh my God. So things could happen like this. And now when you look at your life, you go, what do I want to do? How do I want to enjoy it? Because if that happens somewhere in the future, do I want to feel how I feel right now? Do I want to be better prepared? Do I want to maybe spend more time with people that matter to me?
Yes.
Right? Because we end up spreading ourselves so thin. You end up spending time with everyone, a little bit, but not necessarily quality time with people that really mean something to you, So
right.
I enjoy the time just to have a little bit more time to reflect of how I want it, where I'm going to take my life next from here.
If the perfect pandemic situation for me would be, all right, every 14 days, you get to go and spend 14 days with somebody new. Like,
right.
In other words, so if I had my choice, I would say, okay, my first 14 days of this pandemic, I would go and spend it with Kasia. The second 14 days, because, hey, man, it takes 14 days to show if you're clear, then you go to the next house.
That's right. Your quarantine in other people's houses.
Because, I think that would be awesome. It's like musical chairs. You move from one house to another house. So if I could change anything about the pandemic, that's the only thing I would change. That way I can get to be with others.
Exactly. Spending time with others. And I actually like this idea that we are not able to do too many things. So we actually have to talk.
Yes.
We actually have to express ourselves. We have to say what's our mind, right? So at first it's a little bit uncomfortable. Like I had a few conversations with some of my close friends, and at first you're like, do I want to share? I don't. And there's nothing else to do. It's not like you're going to go somewhere. You're not going to go to the restaurant. You end up cooking yourself. You end up spending time together with your friends, with your family. I do not know if you've seen, 2 days ago, we were actually with my parents and their best friend making sausages, right?
Uh-huh.
Smoking meat, right? We had the whole day where the 5 of us were just stuffing the casing, the women were grinding the meat and preparing, the men were smoking and stuff. And so we do something, but in between there is so much time. So we end up having these fabulous conversations. And what we have done, where we have been, we end up reminiscing about when my parents were young, when their friends were young, how we are different as a younger generation and how we look at the world and how they looked at the world. It was awesome. Like I would not have time to do this. I would not have time to discover my parents at that level because they would be so busy. And the same their friends because they're the same age. And my parents, obviously, they're very close to me. But the other couple, they're like my second set of parents. We're very close. They're their best friends. They almost look identical. The women have the same name. They're like twin sisters. They think the same. They cook the same. They get upset about the same stuff. I mean, it's nuts. And my mom and Greg, which is the husband of the other lady, they're the innovators. They always improve something. Oh, how can we do this? And how can we do this? And there is always some cool stuff. So it's interesting talking to them because they reminisce on how they were young, right? How it was in Poland, how things were done when they were teenagers or how they got married and their first struggles and how, it was just so fascinating. And I was sitting there listening to them. I'm like, wow, if it wouldn't be for this crazy time, I would not have time, right? I would have talked to them probably when they're already all saying all these things to my kids, right?
Correct.
As parents, and I'm like, wow, I should be doing interviews with them. I should have like once a month go, okay, I have a set of questions. Could you tell me all about yourself? Because you assume you know them because they are your parents. Oh my God, I so do not. Like the other day, my dad.
There's always something new to find out, figure out. Like I'm telling you, I have friends who are on this side of the pandemic. Don't go out. Don't go anywhere. Don't, you have to protect everybody. I have friends on this side of the pandemic. Oh my gosh, we just. You know what? We just got to go. We got to live. We can't just hold on life. And I'm very respectful of both sides. And it's been sometimes a little difficult for these people to sometimes to communicate because, I think we need to learn, if anything we can learn is we need to learn to listen and be kind to other people's views.
Yes, so true. So
because people could be, just because you have a set of belief systems and a set of belief systems, if you consider yourself a thinker, it's not because you have decided, oh, I'm going to pick these set of belief systems and this is the only thing I believe, or I'm going to pick this side. And somebody who really is a thinker will be willing to listen and will be willing to change if there is things. And to me, I listen to both sides, and I feel like sometimes I'm stuck in the middle. But somebody says, the government's here, your friends are here, and so forth, and somewhere in the middle, that's where I am. I understand everybody's perspective. I respect everybody, and we just need to be. But bottom line, just listen and be kind.
Exactly. That's so huge. That's so huge because I feel exactly what you just described. My parents and my brother on two opposite spectrums. And you would think my parents would be the conservative ones. Oh no, we've lived through harder times. We have to die of something. They're not even scared getting it. Right now, my mom, as you know, had some back problems and stuff. So her health is, I will not say she has precondition, but you could look at her and say, oh my God, you should be scared. She said, we all gonna die from something at some point. So they refuse the whole idea, oh, we're gonna live like we're dead already. That's just not happening. Now, my brother, on the other hand, he just became a father. So he is in such a protected mode. So he's scared for the baby, he's scared for the wife. He worry about the parents, and I am in the middle, right? I hear from my parents, I hear from my brother. So now I'm like, you know what? I will talk to each of you. Do not talk to one another, because then it's a fight, right? Because they're trying to convince one another. And the interesting part, when you're from the outside, you see that both of them, both parties, my parents and my brother, the worries or the concern comes from the place of worrying about the other person.
Yes.
So they're so what drives them to have the fight, it's a good reason, right? But they're still very unaccepting of the other people way of life. And I'm like, both parties are adults. Everybody have a choice. And we kind of, like you said, greatly, we have to accept that just because I'm choosing to live that way, it doesn't mean that someone else gonna choose the same path. And I have to be okay with that. This is my life. This is theirs, right? And I think especially within the families, because with the friends, I feel sometimes we're a little bit more disconnected. So it's okay to say, oh, well, you do your thing. I don't care so much. But with the closed ones, right? Because we care so much and we want them to do the right thing, right? For good reason.
Yes.
Well, and, right. But sometimes that's when we end up being pushing. That's when we end up being less flexible, because the fear of losing them or something bad happening to them sometimes takes over. So now all of a sudden the fear almost like traps us in within our point of view. And this is the only way to be. And like, you can't be that way because you're not loving anymore. You're being abrupt and you're being pushy. And therefore the other person rejects you immediately.
Yes. Fear will always make us inflexible.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it is, if we can move away from fear, I mean, the opposite of fear is love.
Totally.
So instead of expressing fear, if we just express love, like say your brother towards your mom, I understand that you know, hey, you're going to die at some point, but I love you so much. And I just want you to be here around. But you know what? I totally understand that you also want to live, you know, and, you know, express those things instead of, my gosh, you're going to go out there and you're going to die and you're going to catch it and blah, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and plus fear will wreck our immune systems.
Totally.
So let's, I mean, if we can stay in the positive of love and kindness and being flexible, being good listeners. I mean, I'm telling you, we will have a better world when we come out of this.
Absolutely. You know, I always say the love, when you come from place of heart, gives you wings. You know how sometimes you actually see like some symbols that you have a heart and the little wings attached, right? Because that's what it does. You feel it's possible. You feel excited. You feel, I mean, just think of like when people are in love, right? We love the feeling of being in love because you're almost never tired. You're excited. You're planning. Oh, we can go on vacation. We can do this. You cannot wait to see that person. And it doesn't matter what age. As a young love, as a little bit older or very mature, love gives us that excitement. That I say, love gives us wings. And fear clip those wings. The fear gives us limitations. The fear puts us in the box. So, and it's so quick. The minute you start being scared, we become small. What if, and what if, and I shouldn't, and there's always I shouldn't. This is not good. Like all the no comes in. And now all of a sudden we're in a tiny little box and it's hard to get out. Versus when you go, okay, where's my heart? You feel big. You feel like you can stretch your wings. You feel like things are possible. And all of a sudden, the little obstacles that oftentimes are there become so insignificant and so tiny, you don't even notice them. You just fly right over them and life is good.
Yes, absolutely, Kasia. That's what it is we got to definitely put wings to our love and no need to fear. There's no need to fear.
That's it. Because some time back, someone said, fear is completely useless to us because what's happening a lot of time as well, our fear is based on what could happen, right? To anticipate. And lots of these things, like when I look back at the things I worry, never even came true. I worry about competition. I'm like, oh my God, if I say this, they're going to say this. And if they say this, then this is what's going to happen. And then you work yourself up, right? Now you're nervous. Now you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't. You talk to this person and they said nothing as what you thought. And now you go, I've worried for all this time for no reason, for absolutely no reason. So usually, And it's not that I don't ever worry. Of course, that fear creeps in. I call this the stupid voices are there,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I usually try to go, I will deal with it when it's there. When the reason shows up, when it's in front of me, that I go, okay, now there is a reason not to worry, but to do something about it.
Yes.
Versus, otherwise, it's just anticipation of bad stuff that 90% of the time never even happen. And then
Nope.
you feel like you've wasted your time on
Mm-hmm.
unrealistic expectations of bad things happening to you for no particular
Yes.
reason.
And I'll tell you, even in our industry, we have polar opposite, ways of thinking. And the people are like, I'm ready to dance. The other ones, I'm never dancing,
Yes.
know.
Exactly. And again, back to, you have to let people that want to dance, let people that don't take their time, right? Because
Correct.
everybody have their own journey. Everybody does it for different reasons. We never know what's the reason behind. Maybe they're sick, maybe they've lost someone, maybe usually people have a good reason to feel the way they do. And for us to say, oh, you shouldn't, it's almost like telling someone who worry, don't worry. It's already, they're already
we definitely have to learn to validate people where they're at and say, I validate your point of view and I respect that. And I love you as a person. And, but I'm telling you, it's sometimes when people come so polar opposite, as we're getting ready for an election, those polar opposites are just, are hurtful.
Very.
I mean, I think we can learn how to have different opinions and still be very loving towards one another. I don't look at people as, you have a different point of view. I look at people as human beings. They're a human person, and I'm loving the person. They may have different way of thinking, but they are, we all belong to one thing, and that is humankind, and that is, that, if anything, that is our race. We're all human. And if people were just to realize that we are all we belong to the same thing, I think we would treat each other better.
I agree. Exactly. I agree. Because sometimes we look at it as we're enemies, almost like playing for another team.
Yes.
We might be believing in different ways of how to get there, but the bottom line is we are very much the same, right?
Yes.
We very much value very similar values, right? We all want to be loved. We all want to love someone. We want to be appreciated. All these things we are asking of other people, but sometimes we're so selfish of giving that to others.
Now, say that we take these two polar opposites. There's the people who are still wanting to stay isolated and so forth, and the people that want to get going. Let's give a chance to the people to get going, to get out there, get going. Hey, if they got to catch it, or whatever happens and so forth. Now, this group of people have now just been infected, and, the majority of people are coming out okay. I mean, I know somebody's mom who's 82 years old, was in the hospital 9 days, did not need a ventilator or anything, came out, she's fine. So guess what? We know that the small percentage of people are, I mean, it is a large number to have 100,000 people who have passed away, but compared to the people that have gotten COVID-19, it's not as scary when you put those two numbers together.
I agree.
So let this group go out. Okay, let herd immunity, whatever you want to call it, happen. Then guess what? So now this group is done. So then the next group who says, oh, we wanted to stay in longer. Okay, maybe now they're ready to venture out.
Correct.
While this group is already done taking care of, all right, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I think we can, yes.
Because at some point we're all going to catch it. At some point we're all going to have to go through it, less intensity, more intensity. I mean, there's no really escaping that. It's kind of, even with the flu shots, all of us had the flu. That's why we're surviving that darn thing. So yes, your symptoms might be a little bit stronger. You might have to stay home a little bit longer. You might have to protect yourself if you have some preconditions, but there is really no escaping it, right? At some point we have to be brave enough and go, okay, what can I do to make sure that I recover versus trying to run and hide it, because there's no hiding, right? At some point it's going to get you regardless, right?
We have to learn how to live with it.
That's
It's
it.
here. We have to learn how to live with it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So let's learn how to live with it. Have our wings to spread the love and the joy.
Yes.
Wear some makeup to feel good if you need it.
Get your cup of tea, get your favorite dress, get your favorite blouse, play your favorite song.
Exactly. And do the things for you. Be selfish. Say, you know what? This is what I like for myself, right? Be considerate of other people, but also be considerate and loving towards yourself, because we talk about loving other people, but be loving to yourself and say, you know, this is what I feel today. And this is what I'm going to do. And even if those things change tomorrow, that's okay too. And we don't have to apologize. So I think that would be, that's our message to the world there for the two loving ladies that love hearts.
Yes, we love people. We love people.
So now we have to bust the move, because we cannot finish our conversation with, you know, just standing still or sitting still, I should say. So I have a cute song for us. I feel happy. And
okay.
I'm gonna spread the love. So let me play that for us.
I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is
Be glamorous, be fabulous, love yourself as much as you can. Ceci, you are fabulous. I love you. Spread the love and joy as you always do. I will not expect any less out of you, my darling.
See you soon, my love.